8.3, writing two-step equations. Okay, we've solved two-step equations the last few days here. Today we're going to get in the habit of writing them. When we write these, we're not going to really focus so much on the real-life situations today. Tomorrow we're going to hit home the realistic situations. Today we're going to kind of make sure that we understand the terminology and some of the lingo involved in writing equations here. So here's some things that we have. If we see the term more than, we know that more than would be talking about addition. Less than would be talking subtraction. Sum, anytime you hear sum is talking addition. Difference is talking subtraction. If it's talking about twice, that is multiplied by 2. If you double something, multiply by 2. Quotient deals with division. Anytime you see the term number, number is represented by a variable which would strictly be n. I use n for number. You could use x, you could use y, but in this case I just use n since it's saying number. If it's talking about opposite of a number, well, if number is n, opposite of a number, so the opposite of n would be negative n. And the term is represents your equal sign in the equation. So a few problems here that we'll work through. It says translate 3 more than half a number is 15 into an equation. So 3 more than half a number is 15. Well, is represents the equal sign. So there would be 15. Now, just because the problem says 3 more than half a number, you don't put 3 plus half a number. I know that would be interchangeable, but don't get in the habit. You're saying that it's 3 more than. So if it's 3 more than something, you're adding 3 to something. In this case, you're adding 3 to half a number. So half a number, and this is talking about adding 3, right? So the way I would write this problem is, again, this is 3 more than. So you're adding 3 to something. In this case, you're adding it to half a number. So half a number plus 3 is 15. That's how we would write that equation. Another way to write half a number is you could easily say, here's half a number. Well, there's the number. Here's half of it. So you could divide it by 2. Half a number and dividing by 2 are the same thing. So those would be interchangeable there. 2, translate 5 more than. So we have 5 more than 1/3 a number is 7. So I underline some key things. We have to put this into an equation. Then I kind of go back through and say, oh, 5 more than. Well, that's saying that I need to add 5 to something. 1/3 a number is 1/3 n, or third of a number would be n divided by 3. I can split that up 3 ways. Is the equal, and then we have 7. So again, I need to rewrite up my problem here. In this case, I was going to say 1/3 a number. 5 more, meaning you're adding 5 to something that you have. Well, that's 1/3 of the number, so we'd say plus 5 is 7. 3, translate 19 is 2 more than 5 times a number into an equation. So 19 is 2 more than 5 times the number. 2 more than is adding 2, 5 times the number, and 19, and there is our equal sign. So I'm going to say 19 is, remember 2 more than is you're adding 2 to something. In this case, that something is 5n, so we need to add 2 to that 5n. Example 4, translate 15 is 3 more than the quotient of a number and 3. The quotient of a number and 3. And then it says, then find the number. So we actually have to solve it. So we have 15 is 3 more than, so you're adding 3 to something, the quotient of a number and 3. Well, quotient, if we look back, quotient is dealing with division. So the quotient of a number, here's our number, quotient deals with division. In this case, we're dividing by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the problem. We have 15 equals And again, it says 3 more than, so you're adding 3 to something. In this case, we are adding it to n divided by 3. So I'd say plus 3. There is my equation. That would be 1 point on the daily assignment. The second point is actually finding the number. So we'd actually have to work through this. So I'd say minus 3 to both sides. I get 12 equals n over 3. Then I need to multiply by 3 to both sides to get rid of the division. So multiply by 3. And I find out that 36 equals n. That would be my second point. There would be 2 points. One for the original equation and the second for finding out what n is. 5. Translate. 8 less than. So 8 less than. You're taking 8 less than, so that is subtracting 8 from something. Twice a number, so twice a number, 2 times a number, twice is times 2, is, represents my equal sign, negative 35. Write this as an equation, then find the number. So I'm not going to leave it as negative n and then something 2, and I'm going to go ahead and reword things. Remember, 8 less than is saying that I'm taking 8 away from something. Well, that something is 2n. 2n, subtract 8, is negative 35. So there's my equation. That would be the first point. Second point is, it says go ahead, find the number here. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. 2n drops down. We get rid of our 8's. Our equal sign lines up. And then we have 35, or sorry, negative 35 plus 8 is going to give us a negative 27. Next, we need to go ahead and divide by 2 to get n alone. So I'm going to divide by 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other. When I divide that out, 2's cancel. I have n equals negative 27 divided by 2 is negative 27 halves. That can't be reduced. Leave it as a mixed number. I would also accept as a decimal negative 13.5. Okay. Since back in the original problem, right up here, 2n minus 8 equals negative 35. It doesn't have any decimals. It doesn't have any fractions. So it wouldn't bother me if you had it as a decimal or a fraction. Now, if in this original problem up here you had a decimal, well, your answer should be written as a decimal. If your original answer had, or your original equation had fractions, then you'd write your answer as a fraction. General rule of thumb there. 6, why don't you go ahead and pause the video here and then work it out and then check in. Alright, now we're back here. It says translate the difference between 4 times a number and 10. 4 times a number and 10. Difference is dealing with subtraction. Is my equal sign, 30. Then we need to find our number. So we're going to go ahead and write things here, or rewrite things. We know we have 4 times a number. We know we have 10s. Well, it says the difference between them. Here's the difference between them. Here's 4n minus 10. That's showing the difference between them. Difference is subtraction. Is 30. So now we can go ahead and find it, which you've already done. We should have added 10 to both sides. We have 4n equals 40. Get n alone, divide by 4 to both sides. And we find out n equals 10. This will conclude 8-3 writing two-step equations, day 1.